If you are still using any detergents like the ones that I'm putting up on the screen right now, then you need to watch this video. My whole dishwasher saga began years ago when I figured out that these pods, I learned that these were made of polyvinyl alcohol. That's what this stuff is on the outside. And, they market these as fully dissolvable. But these are plastic. And yes, they do dissolve, but the plastic dissolves into the water into these super tiny molecules. So now you just have plastic in the water that can't even be filtered out with traditional methods. So then I switched away from this. This smells very strong. I switched away from that to gel. And I decided, I didn't really love the gel, and I also didn't like that it came in the huge plastic jug. So then I moved to powder, and that's in a cardboard box. Okay, things are going well until I started digging deeper. The deeper I researched about dishwasher detergent, the worse it got. I soon found out that, unfortunately, most of the dishwasher detergent that you can buy on the market today is full of harmful ingredients that can do serious damage to your health. And I'm not just being alarmist. I know that sounds crazy, because I'm not just going to tell you all the terrible things. I'm going to give you some really good alternatives that you are going to feel really good about. Because if you think about it, here we are eating and drinking off dishes that have been rinsed in terrible chemicals. You don't want to ingest them. They absolutely leave a film on your dishes. You are eating these chemicals when you wash your dishes in this stuff. And I'm sorry, but these manufacturers, they're allowed to put these chemicals and materials into our products. It's not super well regulated. And honestly, their concern is to make a profit, right? Your health is not their concern. When you have a dishwasher, you're blasting your dishes with hot water at a high speed and it's sanitizing them. So why do we need such toxic soap? So let's break this down. I'm going to start with the ingredients that are in most dishwasher detergents. And you're going to be shocked when you hear this and just wonder why the heck these are in our products. But I'm going to first start with the gut disruptors. And one of the reasons I didn't mention why I switched from the gel is because I was kind of noticing some gut health issues when we were using it. I was noticing a film being left on our dishes. I was noticing I wasn't feeling really well. It kind of took a while for me to put two and two together, and I immediately stopped using the gel. Even my husband commented that he wasn't doing well with the gel. So in a lot of detergents, and I'm going to put this up, and I'm going to put the research I did for this video up as well, because you may want to do a bit more research on your own. But there is something called alcohol oxalates. These are added to most detergents. It's really hard to find a detergent without this. There's also sodium hypochlorite. That's basically bleach. Both of these substances and chemicals are known to cause gut health issues. Then there are also cancer-linked chemicals. This one I think is very scary, and what you get is 1,4-dioxane in a lot of these products. And this is kind of a result of the manufacturing process. They're not adding it to the product. It's just coming out after they've done the manufacturing. And this 1,4-dioxane has absolutely been linked to cancer and serious GI issues and damage. Nitrollotriacetate, it is suspected of promoting cancer as well. And then I also need to mention formaldehyde. Again, terrible ingredient. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, they classify formaldehyde as a human carcinogen, which means exposure is known to increase cancer risk. You won't ever see formaldehyde on the label, however. Never. What happens is it's in the preservatives, and they add preservatives so that, it keeps out bacteria and extends the shelf life. They want to, again, maximize those profits, but that's where it comes from. Okay, and then we've also got in the dishwasher detergent endocrine disruptors, and I've shared some of these before, but these are the things that throw off your hormones. And if you think, big deal, hormones are what regulates every process in your body. Literally, almost everything is regulated through your hormones. Anyone who's ever had their hormones messed up will know how important this is. I will put these up as well, but it's benzotriazole is one that's in detergent, and phthalates are in many detergents. You won't see the word phthalates on the label actually, because those get hidden in the fragrance category and they don't have to disclose them, so you don't know. And then finally, there are ingredients that cause organ damage and they're really bad for the environment. Manganese sulfate is one of these ingredients. Too much exposure to that can damage your organs. Also, SLS and SLES. Those are surfactants. Those are very harsh surfactants. Those can irritate your lungs and your skin, but they also cause problems for aquatic life. So when we put this all together, all of these ingredients, you can kind of see why 98% of the detergent that's available on the market today is full of these chemicals, and it's really bad for us. And I'm not talking about just like one questionable ingredient that you're like, okay, well, it's just a little bit. We're talking about categories of chemicals that honestly have no business coming into contact with the dishes and glasses and the things that we're eating and drinking off of every day. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. It's free. So let's kind of zoom out, and I'm just going to talk about all of the ways we're getting exposed, and I'll just do this quickly so that I can get into the good stuff on what you can do instead, because it's a very simple swap. You don't have to go crazy. I mean, I go a little bit crazy, but you know what? I also have a YouTube channel, so I'm making videos so that I can share what I've learned so that you don't have to spend the hours doing the research like I have. So the first problem here, why this matters, is residue. So, you put the stuff in your dishwasher and it doesn't magically disappear. There's residue. It has to go somewhere. Next is vapor exposure. And anyone who's ever run their dishwasher in their kitchen, I mean, you walk in your kitchen when it's running, you can smell the detergent. You can smell the fragrance that's being used. That means you are ingesting those chemicals because you're breathing them. And then also, I've mentioned that these manufacturers say that these pods and things like that are dissolvable. They don't just dissolve. It's like when you put sugar into your iced tea, you don't see the sugar anymore, but the iced tea is sweet. So essentially, this is releasing microplastics. It's going into the environment. It's going into the water supply and the food supply. And then finally, there's a regulation gap. Because you know what? These companies, they're not breaking the law. They're allowed to do this. But in the US, if an ingredient isn't outright banned, then manufacturers are free to use it. And they're relying on you not doing the research and not reading the labels. So what to do? I have a very good solution for you, and I'm going to kind of tell you a couple of things. I did kind of go down the path of looking for like a homemade detergent. It's not good. I wanted to have a nice homemade detergent. I would love to have that, but I did find that over time it could end up actually breaking your machine. We don't want broken dishwashers over here, so I'm not going to recommend that. So we're going to have to choose a detergent from the store. The first thing I'm going to tell you when you're looking at detergent in the store is you are going to want to read your labels. Labeling has become more of an art than a science these days. One thing is you want to look for the red flag words. So one of them that I mentioned is fragrance. This is a blanket term where manufacturers of products can hide dozens, if not hundreds of chemicals. And they don't have to disclose what they are because there are trade secret laws and trademark laws in the US that protects them from having to disclose them. If I see fragrance on a label, I'm not buying it. Also, optical brighteners. These are things that they add and they will make your dishes look shinier, but they don't actually clean and they can also be toxic. I also have a general rule that when I'm looking at the ingredients list, if I can't easily say the name of the ingredient, then I generally know that it's a synthetic chemical that probably doesn't belong in your body. But a lot of brands, more than you would expect, actually do not list all of their ingredients on the label. I thought I was seeing things when I looked at a laundry detergent in the store and it only had 2 ingredients. So I went on their website and I figured out there were another 15 things that they didn't include. That is a huge red flag. If they are not listing all of the ingredients right on their packaging, they're hiding something from you. There are not a ton of laundry detergents that I think are the best, but I'm going to put the ones that I have found. I've done a bunch of research because I want to give you some good options because some of them are super affordable. Some of them are a bit more. I personally have been using Blue Land. This is not sponsored. They have sponsored some of my previous videos, but I really like this because these are little tablets. Can't be easier than that. You just throw it in. And there's no plastic packaging. There are many other brands. I'm going to list them to make it easier for you, but I highly encourage you to think about the things that you're washing your dishes with. I know that this may seem like a small thing, but I'm telling you, it could be incredibly toxic when you end up combining all of that with the things that you're already doing. We're being exposed to a lot of toxins on a day-to-day basis. You know, we're not just having one or two things here. It's this compounded effect of a lot of toxins. I actually, though, have a prediction. I think that as more and more people become aware of these chemicals and these toxins, and more people realize that they don't want them, we can use the power of the purse and not support those brands. And they're going to take those things out because they want to sell their detergent. So if people are avoiding those detergents because of the chemicals, they're going to smarten up and change things. So that's what I'm hoping to do by sharing this information with you so that you can make the best choices for you and the best choices for your family. Okay, guys, I hope this video was helpful to you, and let me know below if you want me to do something on laundry detergent. That's another thing that I've been doing a lot of research just personally on, and I could do a whole video on that as well. In the meantime, I've got this toxic video. If you haven't seen it, check it out, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye-bye.